Hi, welcome to Laura Does Maths. Today I'm going to talk you through how to use a student area of MyMaths. This is something that quite a lot of schools subscribe to. It's a very powerful tool, and if your child's school does have this, and it's likely they'll be receiving online homework, especially at this time. Okay, so first thing you need to log in twice. There's two logins, there's a school login and then there's an individual student login, which will bring you to the page that we're looking at now. The first page you'll come to is this thing called My Homework. So this is where tasks that have been set by the teacher will come. So all of these tasks have been assigned by a teacher for your students to do. Now, they should all have down the bottom the date they've been set and the date that they are due. So keep an eye on that. That'll tell you when they're expected to be completed. And you've also got this little tab down here telling you how many days until they're due. If they are overdue, it will say overdue in this tab here. But you can still complete them. There's no time limit on when you can complete these tasks. So, for example, if your child has had a period of absence, they can still come on here and complete these, which can be really, really helpful to know that. Some virtual learning environments log students out of particular tasks, so they can't then go back and do them, but this one particular, MyMaths, does let you go back and do it. Okay, so you've got lots of options when we look at homework. Now, first of all, I want to talk you through what might happen if you've had multiple tasks set. Now, if you notice what we've got here, we've got dividing fractions, mixed numbers, multiplying and dividing fractions introduction, and multiplying fractions. And they've all got the same reference, that's just a topic reference. So this is a bit difficult. So if all these have been set by a teacher, they don't necessarily come up in the order that the teacher wants you to do them. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that. Now, logically, you'd want to do multiplying and dividing fractions introduction first. Okay, hopefully teachers will have put a little bit of information here. You can type in here and say, for example, do this task first, or do this task second, or spend so much time on this task. So do keep an eye for any further information in here, and that can be typed in manually by the teacher. If they haven't done that and you've got lots of tasks, it might be worth just having a little look before your child starts, just to make sure that they're doing them in a logical order. Okay, so let's have a think about multiplying and dividing fractions introduction. So when we talk about these homeworks, you've got different options. You've got a lesson and an online homework. And in my experience as a natural teacher, students tend to ignore the lesson and just go straight to the homework and just try and do it as much as possible, press mark and they're done. It's always worth, in my opinion, getting them to have a little look at the lesson first. So if you click on lesson, it will come up with a whole chapter list. There's always some games on there, which is really, really helpful, especially for the Key Stage 3 tasks. And all they need to do is have a little click through, thinking about what they can do for each one, kind of having a little read through. If they're feeling really, really confident, then they don't need to worry too much about doing this in detail, but this might help to support some of that work in class if maybe they weren't so sure in class. So as they go through, they can kind of look at what's happening. There's lots of animations, and then, oh, there you go, it'll talk them through it. And quite often there will be examples where they need to type in answers. Okay, so they've got some examples here, they can do some answers too. And they'll be able to mark those. So let's check 4 sevens. 4 sevens are 28. 28 divided by 5. Well, 5 goes into 28 5 different times, so I've got 5 wholes. And then there will be 3 remainder. So let's mark that. Well, hey, I'm right. So it'll kind of tell you got some right, keep going, and you can continue to mark them. When you do the homeworks, you can't continue to mark. You've only got one go at pressing mark. So make sure they do the whole page first, then press mark. If they want to redo, because they maybe haven't got 100%, just be a little bit careful because it will give them completely new questions. So that could give them a lot of work to do. Okay, so that's kind of how the lessons work. You can click through the homework, you would do homework questions, which look very, very similar, to this. And then again, you'll need to mark them as you go. Make sure that it has been submitted at the very end. So there's generally 2 pages to each homework. They get progressively harder. And then once both have been marked, just check that you have fully submitted. It should give you a little thing to tell you that you have been. Okay, once you've submitted the homework, you can always check them in My Results. So here's my results on this one. Now, I did really well on question 1. I got 11 out of 13. But question 2, I got 6 out of 20, so that's really not gone very well. So I might want at this point to go back through the lesson to look at some questions like the one in question 2, or I might want to try the online homework again. Unfortunately, you do have to do the entire online homework again. To get this changed, you can't just do question 2. So it gives me a little orange star. It says I'm not very comfortable with this. I can, as a student, rate it, so I can tell my teacher that I found it really difficult, and then they can look through when they're marking things and know what's going on with there. That's quite a nice little tool there. Okay, other things that are really useful to look at in this. So my progress. So as your child completes more and more MyMaths tasks, it will start to tell them kind of what level they're working at, kind of what they've got going on. So it says how many tasks have you completed, how many did you get the green light on, click the bar charts to see more. So if we click on level 6, that's what we've done. Oh, there we go. So level 6, I've done 1 on level 6, and I'm kind of working at about an amber star, so I'm doing okay. But they can always try and push it into the green. So it's a nice little kind of reward there for them. So that is kind of dealing with what happens when you log in and you end up with things that your teachers have set. Now, if as a parent you're thinking, okay, this is fine, but we need revision materials, or we want to look back at a specific topic that maybe they did earlier in the year that they found really hard, you can do that as well. You don't just have to do the things that teachers have set. So if you have a little look down this sidebar, there's lots and lots of options. Now, what I would always recommend you do is change this from Classic MyMaths to GCSE 9-1 England if you are GCSE level, or Key Stage 3 if you are Year 7 or 8. If you're A level, there's a separate one for A level as well. But we'll change it to GCSE. That just means that you're going to have all of your tasks going to be targeted towards the new GCSE specification. So where do I want to be? I'm going to look in library now. So I want to think, okay, I'm really struggling on algebra, and I need to spend a little bit of time, for example, on quadratic equations. So you've got at your fingertips all of these different tasks to try. Down the side here, this is specifically for GCSE, so F is foundation, H is higher. You've got an F and a H, it is on the crossover between the two papers. And look, you've got so many options to do, lots of lessons that you might want to look through. And these do come up in a really nice logical order. Okay, so you can work your way all the way through them. So hopefully that will help you find tasks that you maybe want your students to be practicing, but they don't quite know how to get to them through MyMaths. You can do that. Other things that I think are brilliant are revision and assessment. So this is in particular for those Year 11s that are maybe thinking, I don't know what's going to happen with GCSE grades this year. This is recorded in April 2020, when at the moment all we know is that GCSEs have been, the exams are not taking place, but we don't know much about GCSE grades or whether they'll have to take an exam in November if, for example, they don't agree with their grade that they've been given. So this is things that you can use to boost yourself. So depending on the grade that they're working for, they can decide where they want to go. So let's say we're working at about a 6 or a 7, so we're going to do a booster pack for that. Here are some fantastic level 6 and 7 worksheets. So this is just absolutely brilliant how it's all laid out. And if you go into the worksheets, it just gives you lots and lots of things to work through. Okay, so I really recommend doing these for revision. And of course, if you think, oh, I really don't understand any of these, you can always go back to the library and have a look at maybe some tasks on trigonometry, and then you can go through the lessons on trigonometry and then come back to these worksheets. So these are really helpful. For lower years in particular, they've got some really nice games, so you might enjoy them. I quite like the probability games. So you've got higher or lower there. You do need Flash Player, so make sure you've got that downloaded. I think you also need Flash Player to open up any MyMaths tasks. So if you're finding it really difficult to get those to open, just check that you've got Flash Player installed. It might also be worth checking that you've definitely got your browser settings okay. So actually sometimes it really gets a bit confused with different browsers. If you're finding Firefox difficult, try Chrome. If you're on Safari, try something different. Try Internet Explorer, and just keep trying different things, and you should hopefully be able to get onto there. But yeah, so these are the booster packs for GCSE, which I think are super helpful. Other ones that I really like, now I'm going to toggle through on this. So if you are thinking about A level, you should be able to get, there we go, so we've got A level and we've got further maths as well. So if you're doing further maths, this is a really great thing to do. Or if you were studying A level and you're not sure what to do now, and you're in year 13, you could have a look at some further maths and just learn it just for fun, because maths is nothing but fun. Let me see if I can find out what I'm looking for. Okay, so if you go to Classic MyMaths, it does give you a few more options. So iGCSE, Stats GCSE, a few more resources there that might be helpful. Which one am I looking for in particular? Love is what I'm looking for. So it's just revision and assessment thing. When you're in Classic MyMaths, you can get to Year 7 transitions. So if you've got a Year 6 student, they're going into Year 7, this might be quite a good thing for them to do. Lots of different mixed assessments to kind of get their maths ticking over. You've also got boosters at level 3, boosters at level 4, level 5 and level 6. So lots of different options for you to try there for revision. Okay, let me take that away. Now, there's also functional skills, which might be really helpful if you're not going to sit GCSE, but you want to be looking at that functional maths. Any revision stuff will take you into here, so you can see how many things you've completed. And again, you can look at your progress in terms of the different coloured stars and see kind of what's going on there. It can be quite nice to fill up that green bar. Setting your curriculum to A-level, going into pure, and then we want to bridge from GCSE. And these are fantastic tasks to be doing for your Year 11s who want to do A-level maths next year. This can kind of keep them ticking over. Obviously, we can only use this if your school is signed up to MyMaths. And if they're not, don't worry, I'm sure they're signed up to another virtual learning environment and I'll be able to talk you through how to use that as well. But yeah, bridging the gap from GCSE, definitely recommend as something to keep your Year 11s ticking over. You've also got that for statistics and mechanics as well. Okay guys, I really hope that helped. What I kind of wanted to do is just have a little talk through, show you how to use MyMaths. Hopefully it's given you some hints and tips on how to use it with your children. But good luck and good luck with your maths. Any questions, drop me a question in the comments or send me a PM, or you can email inquiries at laura-does-maths@.co.uk. Okay, bye.